Champions are not born. They're forged. This is about turning the ordinary into undisputed. Available now.
Hello and welcome to Froch on Fighting. My name is Carl Froch, aka The Cobra, former unified super middleweight world boxing champion and International Boxing Hall of Famer. So we're back now on UK soil, back at Froch Towers, and I'll tell you what, that bag in the background, we need to get some footage because that bag has been absolutely getting milled by the Cobra. There's a couple of options out there, so I've got to keep myself trim and I keep myself in shape. But we're going to get into a few boxing stories today, some of the latest topics, starting with Derek Chisora and Deontay Wilder. So it's all agreed and signed. Derek Chisora will be fighting Deontay Wilder, the Bronze Bomber. He's known for his big punch and his 3 fights, his trilogy with Tyson Fury. They'll be fighting on April 4th. Yeah. At the O2. What a venue. I remember fighting Mikkel Kessler there in the rematch. Got my revenge on Kessler. What a guy he is. First fight was close. I got beat in Denmark, in Herning, over in Denmark, and then rematched him probably 18 months or 2 years later at the O2. And the O2 is one hell of an arena. One of my favourite atmospheres, other than the Nottingham Arena. Obviously, that was unbelievable. 6,000 or 7,000 it only holds. I think we wedged 8 in there that night. I beat Butte. Also boxed Pascal at the arena in Nottingham. But the O2, fantastic venue. I'm sure it'll be a sellout. It'll be packed because Derek Chisora, it's his last fight, 50th fight. Deontay Wilder, I think he might be around about the 50 mark as well. I'll be honest, I've got my reservations about Deontay Wilder fighting again based on his last couple of performances against Zhilei Zhang, against Joseph Parker. He's not looked the same. He got absolutely splattered by Zhang. He got knocked out bad. He sort of spun around, turned around, then Zhang walked up behind him and flattened him before the referee could get involved. But Derek Chisora, he's been knocked out a couple of times in the past. David Haim, a friend of mine, knocked him over, but he doesn't usually get knocked over and knocked out. He usually manages to go the distance, albeit the decision mainly goes against him at top level. But he's been in there with everybody. And a notable performance will be against Alexander Usyk, where he went the distance and gave him quite a tough night's work, really, for Usyk, up at heavyweight, when he came up from cruiserweight after being the undisputed champ. But Derek Chisora, I didn't want to see him fight again because I just think he gets hit too much, takes a lot of punches, and I don't want to see him get any damage sort of up here that lasts with you. But after speaking to him lately, I think he sounds okay. I don't want him to go in there with a massive puncher. I'd like to see him in there with somebody who's going to probably outwork him or beat him on points, or maybe lose on points. I'm not saying I want Chisora to lose, but I want to see him against somebody that can't really hurt him. And Deontay Wilder, in his prime, could have really hurt Derek Chisora. Big punching right hand from the orthodox stance. Big puncher. Like, he was knocking everybody out early doors. I think his record was like 38 wins, 38 knockouts at one stage. And that just shows how big a puncher he is. But now, lately, he's gone off the edge of the cliff in boxing terms. And they reckon that the punching power is the last thing to leave a boxer. Well, Deontay Wilder doesn't look he can throw a punch properly, let alone punch hard. He don't seem to have anything in the arsenal. Maybe he's just been unlucky with the last couple of fights, or he's not trained properly and he's not been conditioned right, or mentally he's not been in the right place since doing the ayahuasca. But based on his last couple of performances, I don't like the thought of Deontay Wilder getting in the ring and fighting anybody who's really sort of potentially going to do some damage to him. But the same with Derek Chisora as well. But I think this is a safe-ish fight for Derek Chisora because Deontay Wilder struggled in his last couple of fights. It looks like he's not punching anymore. And for Chisora to get that 50th fight, which he wants the big 5-0, the bullseye on the record. And he'll get that with Deontay Wilder. And I think it's a safe enough fight because Wilder just doesn't look like half of the machine that he used to be. He just doesn't look like a dangerous fighter anymore. It'll be unlucky for Chisora to go in there with him and get ironed out by Wilder when Wilder doesn't even look like he's punching. And the same for Wilder. I don't want to see Wilder in there because of his last couple of losses. He just doesn't seem to be the same guy. I lost to Joseph Parker. I know it was on points, but he took a lot of punishment. He looked a shell of himself. And we saw what Fabio Wardley did to Parker in that fight. I mean, that was a close fight as well. We'll probably get into Fabio Wardley in a minute because that's a potential opponent for Daniel Dubois. But we'll stick with this one. Derek Chisora, Deontay Wilder. It's a fight that I'm probably going to look forward to. A couple of nights before the fight, I'll be like, this is a fight I'm actually going to tune into or go down and have a look at because anything can happen. If Wilder turns up with any kind of spice or ambition, then it might be a tough night's work for Chisora. And if Wilder can tee off and get that punch going, if he finds some of his old power, it could be a dangerous night for Chisora or Chisora could march him down, walk him down, back him up, keep the pressure on him, and maybe get the stoppage. So it's quite an interesting fight and one I look forward to. I did actually catch up with Derek Chisora on the red carpet for the Ring Magazine Awards out in New York a couple of weeks ago. And he was heckling me, making a noise in the background. I looked around and there he was, Derek Chisora. And I had a couple of words with him, and this is what he had to say. Well, I'd like, I don't want to give anything against Scott Stevenson, but I'd actually see people Lopez doing business. Derek Chisora there heckling me in the background.
The Cobra! Would you fight in Misfits?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you should.
Who should I fight?
Logan Paul or Jake Paul?
Look, look at this outfit, it's looking good. So it's been announced today, or yesterday, they're fighting Deontay Wilder, the bronze bomber. Now, I feel that you're getting him at the right time. Not that that's a problem, but he's also getting you at the right time because you're at the end of your career.
So it's a 50-50 fight?
I think it is probably. I make you a slight favourite because you've always got the work rate, you've always got that drive and that refusal to quit. And when you get on his chest and start pushing him back after round 4, 5 and 6, he's going to be looking at the exit door thinking, I want to go home.
They all do that. They all do
it.
They all do that. I know.
You stuck it on Usyk and I was like, what's going on here?
I know, they all do that. Listen, there's only one thing in the whole world. The fittest guy wins the fight. If you are fit, you win the race. If you're fit, if you see 4 big guys coming off the bus and you by yourself, you turn out the way, you run away, you're gonna win. So I was trained to be fit, that's it.
And you're always fit, and that's a massive advantage.
Yeah, so it's quite crazy.
Are you worried about Deontay Wilder's power? Are you worried about
Yes, mate, I'm fucking petrified.
Yeah?
Yeah,
But that's
because
not a bad thing.
the guy can bang.
So you're taking him serious?
Yeah, mate, taking him seriously is 100%. The guy can bang. You know, don't want to get banged down in front of the O2 arena.
A lot of the time, though, I feel like you're fucking around and you're like, just go with it, and you're not really. But then you get in there and you put a performance on. So,
mate, I don't want to get banged.
The only time I seen you where you didn't let me down, but in my head I was like, what's he doing? What was in Monaco?
Yeah, you know what?
You want motivated.
Can I be honest with you? Yeah? The Monaco fight, I wish I have to say, I'm happy I lost that fight in Monaco.
Kick up the arse you needed.
Yeah, because that Monaco fight made me change who I am today. Made me open my eyes, made me stop drinking, made me understand boxing, made me hook up with David Hay and stuff like that. Yeah. So that Monaco fight was an open changer, you know. So.
I remember sitting next to Darren Barker, scoring the fight and commentating, and my score for you was terrible.
Yeah,
so when you came over and you went, who's that fucking score? That's Darren Barker's. It was actually my score, but you've improved so much since then, so I'll give you respect. Congratulations, man. And good luck with the Deontay Wilder fight, man. Listen, you deserve it as well.
Thank you, man. God bless you, guys.
Thank you. Derek Chisora, what a guy. So that was Del Boy in good form as usual, and he said he's terrified of Deontay Wilder's power. I did mention that actually he's not looked his best in his last few fights, but I think this is a pretty good fight for him. I'm quite excited about this fight, as I told him, and I think he'll be okay. So looking forward to it. So sticking with Wilder Chisora, I'm actually hoping to get them both on fight week. Hopefully I can have a chat with both. I'm sure Chisora will. Deontay Wilder and Chisora were in the TalkSport studio. I think it was last week, and a clip that went viral because Simon Jordan actually questioned Deontay Wilder about Tyson Fury and about what's going on with that. Obviously, they fought 3 times. The first one was a draw. The next 2, he got beat, in my opinion, fair and square. But when Simon asked Deontay Wilder about Tyson Fury, he wasn't happy at all. And he said to Simon Jordan, I don't want to talk about it. Don't mention his name. Something along them lines. And Simon was like, well, we need to talk about Fury because it's in context to the heavyweight fights. And he played such a big part in Deontay Wilder's career. Their 3 fights, that epic trilogy, kind of made Fury and Deontay Wilder famous in the boxing world. I know he'd had like 30-odd fights before he fought Tyson Fury, but them 2 fighting. So it's hard to talk to Deontay Wilder without mentioning Fury, especially because Deontay Wilder's got beef with him. He's been a bit of a sore loser, actually, because he's talking about Fury cheating. He's talking about the gloves, the hands in the gloves he's sort of got his fist down in the glove. And actually, when you watch some slow motion replays, it does look like the fist is on the inside of the glove, and the glove is sort of hanging off the end of Fury's hand or the end of his fist, like he's been playing around with the gloves or taking padding out the gloves as well. We don't fully know what he's accusing him of. But that aside, it's just coming across like he's a real sore loser. If he's got a documentary that holds Fury bang to rights for cheating, then release it, get it out and show us all so we can see it. We can all have our own opinions and we can all watch these little slow motion clips on YouTube where the glove does look like it's flicking around, but anything in slow motion looks a bit strange and a bit weird. I can see what Wilder's saying where the way the gloves are flapping around, but sometimes when you throw punches, you can slap your hands a little bit. You sort of flow them a bit limp just to line a shot. So if you're tapping a left hook, like a little short hook, to throw a big, rendering someone unconscious, right hand down the pipe in front of all them people at Wembley. That's what I did. Little left hook, bang, right hand down the middle. Sometimes your hands flap around a bit until you put some meat in the bone and start putting some power behind the punches. So some of the clips I've seen, I'm waffling now a little bit, but some of the clips I've seen that Wilder's talking about, the gloves are flapping around. But if he's got anything to prove, or if he's got anything to show people that Fury's a cheat and he's cheated, then get it out, get the documentary out, or don't talk about it until it's out. And then you'll be proven right, won't you? You'll be vindicated. But for Simon Jordan to just ask him about Fury, in whatever context, because it's boxing, and he played such a big part of his career, he should be allowed to ask him. For Deontay Wilder to then jump out of his chair and get the hump and start shouting and screaming and saying, don't mention his name, I told you not to mention his name, and getting out, puffing his chest up and half threatening Simon Jordan. I like Simon Jordan. I mean, he sticks it on people. He's very straight down the mic and lets people know how it is. He's very, very truthful and speaks with his hand on his heart and it wears his heart on his sleeve, as they say, and tells it how it is. And he upsets people. He pisses them off because he's very it can be hostile with the way in which he puts his points across. But he's well articulated and he'll stand and fight his corner. And if you want to argue against him, then have an argument. Put your point across. And he'll have a good debate with you. And he's good to listen to. He's good to watch. I'm not a Simon Jordan fanboy by no stretch of the imagination. But I think he's brilliant at what he does. He's a very good talker. And if he's asking Deontay Wilder, what's the crack with Tyson Fury? He shouldn't really get up out of his chair and start throwing his weight around and being a bully, because that's what he looked like to me. He looked like he was being a bully. Simon Jordan's sitting there with his glasses on, never hit a man with glasses, and it's like he's sitting there thinking, what's going off? His heart must have been pounding. The security was there probably thinking, fuck this, I don't want to get between Deontay Wilder with his throwing punches. But it was really like animated and shouting and, it was too much. It was over the top. It was out of order and he come across a bit like a bully. So I don't like that. I think he needs to pipe down a little bit. And if he's got anything on Tyson Fury, get it released or keep your mouth shut until you release it. You're here to promote a fight, and probably was good promotion, to be fair, but I don't like the old bully tactics on Simon Jordan. I think it's out of order. And I think my interview with Deontay Wilder's about finished now, isn't it? Because when he hears this, he's probably going to say, I'm not speaking to Froch. But to be honest, I'll stick it on him. I'll ask him about Tyson Fury because we want to know. It's interesting. And it's all part of the same boxing family. So let's just have a conversation. But, we're talking about the Derek Chisora fight, so hopefully when that fight happens, it will all be laid to rest after that. Whatever beef he's got with Tyson Fury will all come to roost. So sticking with the heavyweights, Daniel Dubois will be taking on Fabio Wardley. I say he's taking on Fabio Wardley because Fabio Wardley is the WBO champion, world champion at heavyweight. He got elevated to that after his win against Joseph Parker. I think he was the interim champ. He's been elevated to the real champ. And taking on Daniel Dubois. I mean, Fabio Wardley, his rematch with Fraser Clark was a good knockout win, wasn't it? And then that was his last three fights. There's that one, and then you've got the Justice Huni fight. He was losing that on his back foot, getting caught, getting outworked, and he pulled the knockout out of the bag. And his last fight, obviously, Joseph Parker, good stoppage win for him against Parker on the ropes. Howard Foster, my old mate, he got in there, he stopped the fight, and he became elevated WBO champ. So he's now taking on Daniel Dubois. Now this is a proper fight. This is a fight that I'm like, what's going to happen here? You've got Daniel Dubois, who we know how good he is, but we know when it's under the cosh and it's hard for him. It's almost like when the tough gets going, the going gets tough. But he looks for the exit signs, and that was against Alexander Usyk, not once but twice. Because first one was a jab, he stayed down. Second one, he did get flattened, didn't he? He got splattered, but he looked like he got up at the end after getting a big southpaw left cross counter punch and flattened. He got up and you thought he kind of could have had a fight on and carried on a little bit and got stuck in, but he come under quite a lot of criticism for not carrying on, but he sort of pulled himself out of that fight, just walked back to his corner or just had his heads and had his head down, his arms dropped, he was looking at the corner, and the ref waved it off. So you do wonder, when it comes on top for him, Daniel Dubois, what's up there, and does he want it? That's the only real question mark I've got over his career. Obviously, losing to Usyk's no disgrace, but he's a massive puncher, big, hard hitter. And Fabio Wardley has never really been in there. You've got Justice Hooney, you've got Joseph Parker, you've got Fraser Clark, you've got Adelaide who's fought him. None of them are really bangers, are they? None of them can really punch hard for heavyweights. I'm sure if they hit you on the chin, it'd hurt. But somebody like me who's got a granite chin, I think I'd be okay. So what I'm saying is he's not a big knockout specialist. So he's not been in with knockout specialists, but Daniel Dubois, we know, is a monster puncher. I've seen him over the years. The stories in the ring, in the gyms for years have been when he hits people, he buzzes them and they look like they've had the electric shock treatment, and they walk back to the corner, they're all over the place. And we see him when he splattered AJ, absolutely flattened him. He beat him up, then he battered him in their fight. And that just shows the power he carries. Obviously, he didn't do anything with Usyk, and Usyk's too smart, too clever, too slick. The best to do it, probably. I mean, one of the best, that's for sure, of all time. So there's no disgrace there. Question mark over his mindset when it comes on top. Can Fabio Wardley stick it on him and make him go to them levels where he's thinking about quitting? I think this will be a fight here where we'll find out what Fabio Wardley's actually got. We know he's capable, we know he's busy, we know he's ambitious, we know he wants to be, well, this WBO world champ, but we know he wants to be in the game for a while, and we know he loves the sport, and he's doing well. He's far exceeded the expectations of anybody within the boxing game for what he's achieved, and fair play to Fabio Wardley. But this might just be the one where he finds out, actually, this is what pro boxing is all about, because Daniel Dubois, if he's firing on all cylinders and he fancies the job, he could end up really causing some damage and knocking out Fabio Wardley bad. But Fabio Wardley's knocked out most of his opponents. He's never been done himself, so this is I want to say it's a 50-50 fight on paper, but in reality, you've got to make Daniel Dubois the favourite, and quite a strong favourite as well. But Fabio Wardley always goes against the odds, and he always manages to pull a performance out of the bag. So another heavyweight fight that I'm looking forward to. So let's finish off with a fight that happened in Liverpool over the weekend. Nick Ball, featherweight world champion, against Brandon Figueroa. And this was a close fight. This fight, looking at it, could have gone either way. I was edging Nick Ball to win this fight on points. Sometimes in close fights, and he nicks it because he's so busy and he puts the pressure on. He's quite short and stocky, punches quite hard. He's tough as well. He walks through walls. And this time, unfortunately, against Figueroa, he literally got caught in round 12 with a left cross. Was it left cross from a southpaw position? Clipped him on the chin, dropped him. The referee gave him every opportunity to stand up, which he did. Got him to his feet, and then the onslaught came from Figueroa, and it was a 3-4-5 punch combination, and Nick Ball looked like his energy was gone. It was round 12. He's been active over the last few years, so maybe the activity, maybe it's overactivity, and it's caught up with him. But it was round 12 in a busy fight, and he was turned around on his feet, and then he was sort of face first, body over the bottom rope, sort of on the bottom rope, and the referee just waved it off because he'd just been down and hurt quite badly. It was round 12, and then the onslaught came, and he was down and out and finished. I don't think he'd have been able to carry on after that. So it was a good finish by Figueroa. Fair play to him. He's world champion again. His team did jump in and someone jumped over the top rope, and the kind of, it looked like a real heavy celebration. The unwritten rule for etiquette in a boxing ring, if somebody's down and out and they're unconscious, then you're celebrating initially because you've won. Then when you realise the opponent's down and out, you sort of calm it all down. It's for the referee and the officials, maybe the sanctioning. If it's WBC or WA, somebody gets in the ring, some of the officials, the medical, and they'll just say, listen, calm down a little bit because the guy's down there and he's hurt. And the normal respect would be to just calm it down. But Figueroa's team got in, lost the plot. I say lost the plot. They were celebrating. They just won the title. They was excited. They was happy. Nick Ball was still down. He wasn't down and out. He wasn't unconscious. Then he climbed to his feet. But it all happened a bit quick. And Figueroa's team jumped in. Nick Ball had obviously lost. The referee waved it off. And Nick Ball's team got in, and it was out of order really from Nick Ball's team because somebody from his team, I'm not sure who it was, I've been told he's actually a current fighter. I'm not really too bothered about picking anybody's names out and giving them stick. But when you start attacking the other side, it's out of order. It brings the sport into disrepute, and we've got licenses for a reason. You've got to behave yourself. Don't piss around. And he actually kicked one of the away team. So one of Figueroa's team got kicked when he had his back turned to him. I see the boot go in, and it's just fucking out of order. Don't kick somebody in a boxing ring when you're a licensed professional or you're a licensed second or trainer. You don't do it. It's disgraceful. It's out of order. I can't condone it at all. It shouldn't be happening. And it was a shame what happened to Nick Ball. He fought his heart out. He got stopped in the last round, but his team really let the side down. They let Team Ball down there, and I didn't like to see that. Congratulations to Figueroa. Brandon Figueroa. He did really, really well. He fought a hard fight against a top fighter in Nick Ball. I like him. I like his style. I like his fitness, his work rate. I like when he comes to the ring, he comes to win. And he coped with the pressure, and then he got the knockout win. So that should be celebrated. We shouldn't be talking about this idiot that started kicking the away team. So hopefully that gets sorted out and it doesn't happen again. But Nick Ball, I'm sure, will come again as well. And listen, sometimes there's always a backstory, isn't there? And I don't know if there's a backstory. Something might have got said at the press conference. Something might have happened at the weigh-in. I don't know if there's any sort of backstory to this. But even so, even having said that, still really, there's no excuse for misbehaving yourself inside that professional boxing ring, because we need to keep it clean. So that's it for another episode of Froch on Fighting. This week, I'm going to be catching up with Lee Wood and Josh Warrington. They've got a rematch that's in Nottingham as well, Nottingham Arena, the home of the Cobra. So I'm looking forward to the whole build-up for that. Like I said, I'm going to get a chat with both these guys. And the first fight was good because Lee was on the back foot under the cosh, and then he snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, as we do in Nottingham. Quite a big puncher, Lee Wood. Josh Warrington, he's back. He wants revenge, so I'm looking forward to it. And also, I want to end with a big congratulations to Josh Kelly, IBF World Champion. It's about time because he's got the talent. Adam Booth, my old friend, has been telling me for a long time how talented Josh Kelly is. He said he's one of the most talented fighters he's ever worked with, and that's a big shout when you bear in mind he's had Andy Lee and he's had David Hay. He's had some good fighters over the years. And for Josh Kelly to become world champ now eventually, I think he got beat by David Avanesian, didn't he, a while ago, and it was quite a bad loss for him. And a lot of people questioned whether or not he would recover from that or if he had what it took to become champ. So it's nice to see him get crowned IBF World Champion. Fair play to him. Well done. I'm proud of you, and hopefully I can get you on this show very soon. Right, that's it. I'm definitely gone now. I'm off to get a steak. I'm absolutely starving. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. But hit that subscribe because it helps the channel grow, and we can keep bringing you the best content in the business. See you very soon.